The rain hammered against the corrugated iron roof of the salvage yard, a relentless percussion that mirrored the anxiety gnawing at Arthur Penhaligon's gut. He huddled deeper into his oilskins, the scent of rust and decay clinging to him like a second skin. Across the yard, Silas Blackwood, his employer and the man whose reputation for eccentricity bordered on the unsettling, gestured impatiently. "Hurry now, Arthur. The tide's turning." Arthur didn't need reminding. He's been scouring the mudflats of the Jersey Shore for days following Blackwood's cryptic instructions. The object of their search, a steamer trunk, recovered from the wreck of the Morwind, a merchant vessel lost at sea almost a century ago. Blackwood claimed the trunk held something significant. Something that would rewrite history. Arthur suspected Blackwood's definition of history involved a healthy dose of delusion and a fondness for obscure occult texts. Finally, his metal detector shrieked. Arthur plunged his shovel into the clinging mud and, with a grunt of effort, unearthed the trunk. It was old, the wood warped and scarred, bound with rusted iron bands. A faint, almost sickly sweet odor emanated from it, even through the grime. "Careful now," Blackwood warned, his voice low and strained. "Some things are best left undisturbed." Arthur ignored him, forcing the rusted lock with a pry bar. The lid creaked open, releasing a gust of damp, musty air. Inside, nestled amongst layers of faded velvet, lay a single object, a silver locket, intricately carved with symbols Arthur didn't recognize. They weren't Christian, weren't Hebrew, they felt ancient, alien. "What is it?" Arthur asked, picking up the locket. Blackwood's face was pale, his eyes wide with a mixture of fascination and fear. "The Oculus. It's been lost for centuries." He reached out, a trembling hand extended towards Arthur. "Give it to me." Arthur hesitated. There was something profoundly unsettling about the locket, a feeling of wrongness that resonated deep within his bones. He felt a faint pressure in his temples, a whispering sensation in the back of his mind. He shook his head, trying to dispel the feeling. "What does it asterisk to asterisk?" Blackwood swallowed hard. "It allows observation of things beyond our understanding." Arthur opened the locket. Inside, instead of a photograph, was a swirling vortex of iridescent colors, like a miniature nebula trapped within silver. The whispering in his mind intensified, coalescing into a single, coherent thought. Asterisk looked at asterisk. He looked, and he saw landscapes that defied geometry, impossible angles and shifting perspectives. He saw creatures that shimmered and writhed, forms that defied description. He saw vast, cyclopean structures dwarfing any building ever conceived by human hands. He saw asterisk. They were vast, shapeless entities existing beyond the confines of space and time. They regarded him with an indifferent gaze, as if he were a microscopic speck of dust. He felt a wave of nausea, a sense of utter insignificance. Then he saw her asterisk, a woman standing amidst the swirling chaos, her face etched with an unbearable sorrow. Her eyes met his, and in that instant he felt a connection, a shared sense of loss and regret. He felt compelled to speak, to reach out, but the vision fractured, dissolving into a blinding white light. Arthur stumbled back, dropping the locket. He gasped for breath, his heart pounding in his chest. The rain seemed to intensify, washing over him like a cleansing wave. "What did you see?" Blackwood demanded, his voice trembling. Arthur couldn't speak. He just stared at the locket lying in the mud, the swirling vortex still visible within. He felt changed. He knew, somehow, that the world he thought he knew was a fragile illusion masked in a terrifying reality. Days turned into weeks. Arthur tried to return to his old life, but the vision haunted him. He saw the woman's face in crowds, heard her silent plea echoing in his dreams. He tried to warn others, but they dismissed him as delusional, a victim of Blackwood's eccentric influence. Then, the dreams started. He wasn't merely observing the other realm anymore. He was the asterisk. He walked through impossible landscapes, guided by the sorrowful woman. She didn't speak, but he understood her. She was trapped, a prisoner of the other realm, desperately seeking a way back. He learned that the Oculus wasn't merely a window, it was a tether, a fragile link between worlds, and the woman, Elara, was the anchor. He discovered that the Morwind hadn't simply wrecked. It had been lured, drawn into the other realm by Elara's desperate signal, and the Oculus had been deliberately recovered, placed in Blackwood's hands with the intention of opening the gateway wider. Blackwood, it turned out, was merely eccentric. He was a devotee, a pawn in a cosmic game far beyond human comprehension. He planned to use the Oculus to bring something asterisk through asterisk, something that would reshape reality in its own image. Arthur knew he had to stop him. He couldn't explain it to anyone. They wouldn't understand. He was alone. He confronted Blackwood in his closet study, the Oculus pulsing with an unsettling light on the desk. You're going to open the gate, aren't you? Arthur accused. Blackwood smiled, a chillingly serene expression on his face. The truth is about to be revealed, Arthur. Humanity is not as it believes itself to be. Arthur lunged for the Oculus, but Blackwood was faster. He activated it, and the room began to shimmer, the walls dissolving into swirling colors. You can't stop me! Blackwood shouted as a monstrous form began to materialize in the center of the room. It was vast, writhing, and utterly alien. Arthur fought through the growing chaos, reaching for the locket. He knew he had to sever the tether, close the gateway. He had to save humanity from the horror that was about to be unleashed. He opened the locket, focusing on Elara's face, pouring all his will into the act. He felt a searing pain in his mind, as the tether strained against his efforts. Then a voice echoed in his head, not Elara's, but something else, something ancient and powerful. Asterisk, you are not worthy. Asterisk. The room plunged into darkness. Arthur awoke on the muddy banks of the Jersey shore, a rain still falling. Morwind. A ghostly silhouette on the horizon. The Oculus was gone. Blackwood was gone. Everything felt wrong. He stood, shivering, the chill seeping into his bones. He looked down at his hand, flexing his fingers. A single iridescent scale clung to his palm, shimmering in the dim light. A scale, undeniably, from something that didn't belong on Earth. He heard a faint whisper on the wind, a voice that seemed to emanate from everywhere and nowhere at once. Asterisk, it is not over. Asterisk.